My name is Frank van den Horst and today I am interviewing Herman Chow. Hi Herman, how are you?
Hey Frank, I'm very well, thank you.
Fine. The header on your LinkedIn profile says personal branding photographer at Herman Chow Portraits, TEDx speaker and author of Let's Get Naked. Well, I want to know everything about that of course, but first tell me something about your background and what brought you to the Netherlands?
Sure, I was born and raised in a very small country in Asia called Singapore. I've always been working for employers all my life, and in my 20s I said to myself, life is getting a bit boring and I wanted to get out of Singapore. And I loved Europe so much at that time and I wanted just to experience life in another country. And I chose Netherlands because out of all the countries in Europe, a non-English speaking country, I think the Dutch are people that speak a lot of English compared to other countries. It's quite a cosmopolitan country and that's why I chose Netherlands and the rest is history.
Okay, but did you already start here as a photographer when you came here, or did you first have other jobs?
I have been working for employers, English speaking companies when I came here. I have to work. Photography only started 10 years ago. I wanted to do a hobby in the weekends. So I took up landscape photography.
Okay.
And I've been going out to shoot landscapes. I even traveled to the UK, to Italy to do landscaping. But 1 year later, I did not have that satisfaction. And one day I was browsing through fashion magazines in a bookshop and I saw beautiful models in the magazines. And I said to myself, if that photographer can do a great job, so can I. So I started looking for people on the street, on social media, contacting modeling agencies, get in touch with makeup artists, wardrobe stylists, just to build up my portfolio. And I've been published in Vogue Italy as well.
Oh, that's very nice.
Yeah, that was quite accomplished. And I've been photographing fashion models for 5-6 years. That's my journey.
So, what is your specialization?
I specialize in portraits, shooting non-models.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you have also a nice subtitle. You said to yourself, you are a fairy godmother. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, I've always been working with women since my early 20s. Until now, I'm always surrounded by women. And one of the things that hit me is their insecurity about they feel about their body image. They are just not confident. So as a fairy godmother, I just want my brand to sound different because when you do something different, people will remember you. You know, nobody will associate a fairy godmother with a man. So I use Your Fairy Godmother. And because of this, I help women to acknowledge that they are beautiful and unique through my camera lens. That's a transformation. I give them the experience of transformation, confidence, and also experience and beauty.
And by that you help their personal brand?
Yeah, personal branding is more on business because I run a business photography, specializing in portraits. And I go to a lot of network events, business network events, and that's why I move into the personal branding business side of things. But personal branding is also part of portraits. And I really specialize in portraits, photographing people.
Yeah. You wrote a book called Let's Get Naked. What's that all about?
Yeah, Let's Get Naked. Actually, when you read the title, it's not really, it has nothing to do with nudity. It's pretty contradictory. Like I said, a lot of women, they are not confident about themselves. And this book is actually to help them to stop hating themselves and to accept who they are as a person so that they can be happier.
So it is kind of a self-help book?
Yes, it is a guidebook to help them from hating themselves.
Okay,
yeah.
And of course you have some suggestions. What is the best suggestion for a woman? If she has read that book, then she says, okay, this is what I'm going to remember.
Okay, for anyone who read that book, I just want them to realize that we only have one life. And we are all here for a purpose, and we are all here to celebrate who we are.
Okay.
You know, life is too short to really think of all these baggages behind us. Honestly, I've been through that, I know it. So one life, so you really have to embrace it.
Okay. So, to put it more in a business term, your face is the marketplace, you say.
Mm-hmm.
And what do you mean by that in the context of what you just said?
Okay, let's put it this way. When you run a business, it's simply a human being solving another human being's problem. It's all about human connection. And your customers only buy from you when they like you, when they trust you. And for them to trust and like you, they have to see who you are. They have to look at you, look at how you look like, you know, your face. That's why my brand is Your Face is the Marketplace.
Yeah, an interesting thought, because I have here a quote from Diane Arbus, a famous New York photographer, and she says, "A photograph is a secret about a secret. The more it tells you, the less you know. A photograph is a secret about a secret. The more it tells you, the less you know." I find that fascinating.
Very interesting. I've not heard of this lady before. It is indeed a secret. Now, when you look at a photograph, a portrait of a person, if it was taken really well, you can really see a lot of things in his or her face. You know, whether she has a good life or she's a very worried person, she has a story behind her. You can roughly gauge from the energy when you look at the photographs. So that's a secret. You know, you may know something about her by looking at her photograph, but on the other hand, there's something that you don't know about her, and you want to know more about this person. That's fascinating.
I think it is fascinating too, because another quote from Robert Frank, he says, another photographer, he says, "The eye should learn to listen before it looks." The eye should learn to listen before it looks.
I don't know what he meant by this, the eyes, but when I take photographs, I always emphasize on the connection in your eyes. That makes your photograph very powerful, because they say the eyes is the soul of the window or something like that.
The window to your soul.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Window to your soul. So that's why your eyes are very powerful.
Yeah. You recently held a talk at TEDx Amstelveen.
Yes, I did.
What was that all about?
It was on the 8th of November. I had the chance to stand on the TEDx stage in Amstelveen to present my article on the power of printed photographs. I shared my personal story and told the audience why printed photographs are so powerful. Because I lost my father at a very young age, and I did not have many printed photographs together with him that I can hold on to. And that is why I need to convey this message to everybody out there, that when you take photographs, print it, frame it, or put it in an album. Don't keep it on your phone as a digital file, because over a few years, your phone may be malfunctioning, and you can't guarantee that you can access to these digital files anymore 5 years, 10 years down the road. And when you compare a digital image and a printed image, just take the same photograph, digital and printed. The printed gives out more energy to you and emotions. Okay. Try it.
Yeah.
Try it.
Interesting. By the way, you make a lot of headshots.
Mm-hmm.
Color or black white? Which one do you prefer?
I love both. Black and white has a very powerful message when you look at it, you know, especially when you really focus on the person's head. Let's say you photograph someone who is in his 60s or her 70s. You see all the wrinkles, all the lines, and that's her life journey. And that says a lot about this person. And that's where black and white photograph really pops up compared to a colored photo.
Okay. Is that one of your trademarks which makes your photos distinctive?
The feedback that I got from my customers is that I produce very powerful and glamorous photos. I can bring out that personality from that person onto the photograph. That's my specialty. That's the feedback I got.
Yeah.
So I guess that is the distinction of my work compared to other people.
Okay. And if I look at your photos, I always wonder, do you have a role model or do you have a hero which that inspires you to make them like that, to develop that personal touch which we were just discussing?
Yes, indeed I have. Remember I talked about the fashion photography?
Yes.
While I was doing fashion photography, I came across this very successful and established photographer. Her name is Sue Bryce. She's from New Zealand, but now she lives in LA, I think. I love her work. I'm drawn to the style of her work. And she keeps emphasizing on the importance of portraits, printed portraits. I think that was a calling for me to really quit my 9-to-5 job and start a photography business and photograph people, portraits, because I realized I do not have enough photographs with my loved ones.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now you are also an entrepreneur and a businessman, and this all not always is the sun shining in business land. And do you have any experiences you want to share with us? You say, okay, I learned a lot from that.
Yeah, when I started this business, the first 2 years I don't have any customers. And I was a bit desperate because I need to pay the bills. And at that time, remember Sue Bryce, the person that I really love, her work? In her Facebook group, there was another American photographer in her group. And she was also doing very well. So I started to approach this lady and ask her for advice, what I can do just to bring someone to my photo studio. So we had a chat online. She looked at my profile, she analyzed what I had been doing. And she said to me, hey Chow, you have to go out there and show yourself, go to network events and just talk to people. That's how I started.
Okay.
That's how I started. I have to come out of my comfort zone because I'm not comfortable to talk to people. I have to learn how to be extrovert in my introvert zone.
Okay, so you had to get naked yourself first.
Yes, yeah, something like that.
Something like that. Okay, nice. Okay, I've still 2 questions. Who are your target customers?
I know it's funny if I tell you that all women are my target customers. But then people will say you have to narrow it down, But then for me, I need every woman to have a beautiful portrait of herself. That's a celebration of their life. That's it.
A lot of clients. Potential clients, at least. Okay, last question. You are an entrepreneur. What insights or learnings would you like to share with us, with other entrepreneurs? What have you learned? What kind of ideas you've got? And say, okay, that's important.
That's a good one. That's a good one, Frank. Okay, a tip that I can give all of you out there is life is too short not to do any shit. So go out there and just have fun.
Okay, thank you very much for this interview.
Thank you.